Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good night, beautiful people. Welcome back to another day of YouTube, another day of living. We're to hit back at it again with the anime reaction. Woohoo! So I didn't know what to react to, so I just thought, hey, let me react to Fate again. Let me go back to the Lancer of Black, my boy Vlad the Impaler, whatever, Dracula. You know what I'm saying? And this is him. This is Valet Explain his past and noble phantasm. So we're here to look at the Lancer of Black today. I do not own the rights to this video. This video is the video. Somebody else made this video, and I'll put his information in the description below, as well as this video in the link in the description below. Like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys want me to react to next, please, because I'm lost, man, for words. I didn't know what to react to. I did a gameplay yesterday with what is it called? Spellbreak. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put that in the link in the description. Go check that out, man. Let me know what you guys think. If I should get into more gaming, let me know what you guys think. Alright, let's get right into it.
I never would have thought that out of the last 4 servants left to choose from, Vlad would be one of them. I thought for sure that with a name like the Lord Impaler, you guys would at least want to see his story before someone like Siegfried. I'm not hating on Siegfried, just saying that he's a little bit more boring than Vlad.
Yeah.
I mean, Siegfried's just some guy with a sword who can't die. Vlad, on the other hand, people were so scared of his legend that it molded his very being into something that shouldn't even exist. Now that's what we're talking about. So let's get into everything that we need to know about the Lancer of Black, aka Vlad Tepes.
Now let's see if they teach us something new on this. All right, before we get into it,
we need to know about the Lancer of Black.
My boy looks sick right here. All right, I watched the Castlevania show on Netflix. Let me know what you guys think about that. I thought it was a pretty good show.
Black, aka Vlad Tepes, aka Vlad the Impaler, aka Vlad III, Dracula, the Prince of Wallachia. Now, unlike many of the other servants, Vlad's character is an actual historical figure who lived back in 15th century Romania. He was born in Transylvania as the second son of Vlad II, Dracul. His nickname, Dracula, derives from his father's to mean son of Dracul. Dracul, which came from the Latin word Draco, meaning dragon. Vlad's father, who I'll refer to as Dracul from now on, was part of the Order of the Dragon, which was a holy order made by the Roman Emperor Sigismund in order to stop the Ottoman invasion of Europe.
Calm down now,
Long story short, this was a point in time when the Ottoman Empire was trying to expand its territory all throughout Europe. And surprisingly enough, this military campaign lasted all the way up to the early 1900s. But that's not what's important. What's important is how this affected Vlad and his father.
Dang, I would be embarrassed if my daddy looked like that. Ooh. Hideous.
1436, Dracul became what's essentially the king of Wallachia. But the Ottoman Empire wanted Wallachia as part of their territory. So Dracul, who wasn't really for getting invaded, decides to bend the knee. But that wasn't enough. The Ottoman Sultan ordered Dracul to travel to his camp so that Dracul could prove his loyalty in person. Vlad and his brother accompanied their father on this trip. But in good old Game of Thrones fashion, in order to ensure that loyalty was going to be kept, Vlad and his brother were taken as hostages.
Ooh.
It was during this time that Vlad was taught various things like science, philosophy, and art, as well as how to ride a horse and fight. It was a rather tame form of captivity that Vlad's...
And he's smart. Not a lot of kids know how to do that nowadays. Well, go out their way, you know, and want to study and all that, because, you know, technology is carrying something big, you know what I'm saying?
Brother, Radu, actually took a liking.
And I didn't know Dracula had a brother. Did not know that.
Vlad, on the other hand,
learning
just wanted
something.
to escape. Fast forward a little bit, and Dracul finds himself fighting to defend his position as leader of Wallachia. He loses this fight for power and is killed by the Boyars, another family of nobility. The country then falls to the hands of Vladislav II. The Ottoman Empire isn't quite happy with this result, so they release Vlad from captivity.
That man said, I don't fear facing a whole country. Okay, Karna. Calm down now. Just because you're a demigod.
To go fight and take Wallachia back. With the help of the Ottomans, he succeeds in pushing out the usurper, but remains in power for only a little while since a mere 2 months later, Vlad is forced out again by the remnants of Vladislav's army. Before this, Vlad had reluctantly supported the Ottoman Empire. but after being pushed out of Wallachia, he disappeared for around 8 years. It's thought that during this time he was able to switch sides and gain the favor of the Hungarians, who didn't quite like...
I wonder, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the battle would have turned out differently if he voluntarily went into did his noble phantasm? Because when he was fighting, I don't think he was, well, he knew what he was doing, but he was fused with his master, and on top of that, he was forced to use his noble phantasm. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. If the whole battle would have turned out differently.
Like Vladislav as ruler of Wallachia either. So Vlad, with the support of a Hungarian army, invaded Wallachia and became the ruler once more. Vlad knew that if he was going to properly defend his country from the invasions of the Ottomans that were sure to come, he would first have to unify his country from within. So there's normally 2 ways this can go. Either be diplomatic and win the favor of your people, or rule through fear and authority. Well, Vlad, being the nobleman he is, invites over all the boyars to a banquet at his castle. I bet you can already tell where this is going. Yep, red wedding style, all the boyars are stabbed and then impaled on spikes. Now, this was the first of many events that led Vlad to gain the name Vlad the Impaler. He led many military campaigns that almost always ended up in his victims getting impaled.
So, of course, I'm stupid. I'm just not noticing. Of course, this ain't the actual Dracula history, you know. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but...
Mutilated, disemboweled, or decapitated. Literally, you name it, and
or let me know if it is.
But you're probably wondering, if he just tortured people all the time, then how is he considered a heroic spirit? Well, Vlad was only harsh to the people who tried to bring harm to his country. All he cared for was the well-being of his nation.
He could have closed his mouth.
And if you did something that wasn't in Wallachlia's best interest, then you might as well just go impale yourself. Because one way or the other, it's going to end up happening. He was so loyal to his country that even Pope Pius II acknowledged his efforts.
He looked like Humpty Dumpty. That man ugly. He looked like E.T. if E.T. lost, if his head was small. He looked like Roger from American Dad. That man, I don't know if that's a man or a female. Oh my God.
After he dealt with the boyars, he moved on to the Saxons. Then after that, the Ottoman Empire came knocking, requesting their yearly tribute to show loyalty. Vlad not only denied it, thus ending their relationship with the Ottomans, he also dealt with the envoys in a manner most fitting to his legend. The Ottoman envoys who confronted Vlad refused to remove their turbans due to religious custom. Vlad, being the nobleman he is, respected their wish and even went as far as to permanently attach the turbans to their heads by hammering it to their skulls with nails. The Ottoman Empire didn't take this too lightly, so they sent over an army of over 150,000 soldiers to invade Wallachia and remove Vlad from power.
I understand
that he was severely outnumbered. So no...
Hey, look, this man right here, he was not giving up. He was finna throw that sword at him. See, that's cheating. A spear in that type of battle, I feel like that's cheating. Because look how far away you could get him. I don't know.
Tactic was considered too dirty to ensure victory. Scorched earth tactics to remove all potential enemy assets and guerrilla warfare to assassinate enemy leadership was all accounted for. But what really won him the battle against the Ottomans was his display of pure determination to deter the enemy. When the Ottomans approached an abandoned Wallachian camp, what they came across was the impaled bodies of around 20,000 Ottoman POWs. Women and children who were also prisoners were found impaled here. The very sight of this was just a big fat nope, which caused the main Ottoman army to just turn around and return home.
Yeah, I'd probably the same way, because that's scary right there. To hang him, not hanging, but.
Now, Radu, Vlad's brother, who had been siding with the Ottomans the whole time, kept his army in Wallachia. He tried a couple more times to invade through brute force, but Vlad was able to defend. However, during this time, many of Vlad's men were also defecting over to Radu's side, and this caused Vlad to have to retreat from Wallachia. Radu became ruler for a bit over a decade until he died in 1475. A year later, Vlad, who had gained the support of the nation of Moldavia, was able to reclaim power for a third time. But, yet again, this one was short-lived, lasting only a month, because while traveling to another battle against the Ottomans, him and his small group were ambushed. Vlad died from this, leaving only the legends of his gruesome feats in battle to live on today, which, as I'm sure you know, inspired the creation of Dracula. So, nope, Dracula wasn't the blood-sucking vampire that we are all made out to believe he was. He was just a man whose dedication towards his own country led him to executing...
So, let me know down below. Do you think he will be more stronger as a berserker? I mean...
over 1/5 of its population.
If not,
I'm not
then
quite
why?
sure which one is worse. But
I
anyway,
think he will
let's
be.
move on to his abilities and noble phantasms now. Vlad is one of those servants whose power is very conditional upon being in his own domain.
Yeah.
When in the borders of what's considered his domain, he's said to have power equal to that of Heracles or King Arthur.
Whoa.
And that's because his fame as a legend is boosted significantly when in Romania.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if you didn't know, is what was once Wallachia. His first noble phantasm is called Kazikli Bey, the Lord of Execution. This is his weapon, and it reproduces the staking of the 20,000 Ottoman prisoners from his history. This is the act that granted Vlad his place in history as a fearsome leader, one that shouldn't be reckoned with. So it'd be expected that one of his noble phantasms would be based off of it. One of these stakes wouldn't do much to harm a servant because individually they're quite weak. But if 20,000 of them came rushing at you at once, then that's going to do a little bit of damage. It's the overwhelming onslaught of stakes constantly projecting themselves from the ground up into your face that makes this noble phantasm so powerful. Kazikli Bey can only be used within a radius of 1 kilometer of the area that has been marked as Vlad's domain by the demonic defender of the state skill. This allows him to mark an area as his domain by securing the border prior to a fight.
I love these type of videos because I really do learn a lot from them. And I'm glad too because there's a lot of things about faith that's hard to understand. Or that I just don't know about.
That's why he was able to have so much power while in Tripus. He had used this skill to transform it into his own domain. Vlad also has a spear that he personally fights with. It has a unique ability where if it touches an enemy even once while within Vlad's territory, then it can cause stakes to spawn from within the enemy's body. There's no way to defend against this attack because once contact has been made with the spear, the stakes are already forming within your body. As you'd expect, leaving his domain in Romania would result in a significant decrease in the spear's power, as well as the loss of the ability to produce stakes from literally anywhere. Then there's the legend of Dracula, the Successions of Blood.
Yeah.
A noble phantasm formed completely off of legend and literary works, molded by the very image of terror that Vlad produced during his time alive. This can only be activated through a command spell, and it turns Vlad into the monster that he hates being envisioned as. Once transformed, Vlad loses all of his previous abilities and skills.
Oh, okay.
Instead, he gains a significant boost in strength and speed. He can produce stakes from within his body, as well as turn himself into mist or transform into a bunch of bats, or any other animal. Pretty much, he becomes a full-on vampire, all set with the ability to turn others into vampires as well. The level of power that Vlad reaches while in this state is pretty much insurmountable. He heals faster than he can be damaged, moves as fast as Achilles, can sustain attacks from 6 different servants at the same time, and can casually produce spears that are as powerful as noble phantasms. Vlad also takes no damage from physical attacks, and even striking his spiritual core isn't enough to defeat him.
Oh my god.
His only weaknesses are daylight and holy symbols, which Shiro just so happened to be in possession of. The only thing that would have stopped Vlad from turning the servants and the rest of the world into his vampire minions was Shiro's black keys and baptism rites, or Ruler's eternal luminosity, both of which are holy items. And that's Vlad. I really liked what they did with him in the show. Although his rampage was really short-lived, getting to see all the servants fight together against this monster and his minions, like something straight out of COD Zombies, got me super hyped. It made apocrypha...
See, look at that, look at that, come on now. Well, you're doing all this extra stuff with the spikes, when you could just kill him. I mean, that's probably why he escaped.
Something right, it would definitely have to be their...
You're giving him time to think.
Anyway, that's it for the Lancer of Black.
Well, that's it for the Lancer of Black. You heard the man. That's Vlad the Impaler Explain. Alright, it's past Noble Phantasm. Comment down below what you guys want me to react to next. Like and subscribe, of course. I'm thinking about doing something different. Like, I don't know, doing some food reactions and try to cooking them. Because I can get down in the kitchen. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Holla. No homo.